Before you cross into the wild places, child, answer me this: when the spirits come to judge you, will it be the water that finds you first, or the wood, or the sand? Sit close. Let the fire burn low and the smoke curl toward the stars, because this is the warning your grandmother's grandmother carried on her tongue long before either of us drew breath, and it begins, as all true warnings do, where the rivers run deepest, and the light gives up before it reaches the bottom. There, beneath the surface where sunlight thins to nothing, waits a woman more beautiful than any you have seen. On land, hair like black water, skin that catches the moon, a tail where her legs should be. The Yoruba and the Sawa and 100 peoples along 100 coasts know her by different names, though her nature never changes from one shoreline to the next. Mami Wata rises for those who come to her rivers with humility, and she has been known to reward such travelers with wealth beyond counting, or to heal what medicine could not touch, or simply to vanish beneath the water again, leaving nothing but ripples and a feeling of having been seen. But make no mistake, the same hand that lifts you up can just as easily drag you under, and she has never once explained which traveler earns which fate. Along the waters of Cameroon, her sister spirit Jengu keeps her own quiet court, blessing fishermen who leave offerings of flowers and grain, asking nothing but respect in return for a good catch and a safe crossing. Further inland, where waterfalls crash white against stone and mist hangs like a curtain, Kianda watches over the weary and the sick, healing those who honor her domain and speak softly near her banks. Do you see the pattern yet, child? The water does not care who you are, what you own, or where you have traveled from. It only cares how you arrive at its edge. Not every river is so gentle, though, and not every water spirit wears a woman's face. Travel south to where the land folds into deep, forgotten lakes ringed by cliffs, and you will hear of Inkanyamba, a serpent vast enough to be mistaken for a storm rolling in off the horizon. Some call it a god of rain, a bringer of the floods that fill the fields and fatten the harvest. Others have watched it tear open the sky with a single turn of its coils and flatten villages beneath water it summoned from nowhere at all. It does not choose sides in the matter, it simply is, the way a flood simply is, indifferent to whoever happens to be standing in its path when the water rises. Leave the water now and step into the trees, for the forest keeps its own court, and this one only convenes after dark. Hang your lantern high, because above you, hanging upside down from the branches like fruit no one dares to pick, waits a sanbosam, iron teeth catching what little light slips through the canopy, hooked feet gripping bark, patient as only a true predator can afford to be. It does not chase, it has never needed to. It simply waits for the tired traveler to walk beneath the wrong branch at the wrong hour. And should you survive the trees and reach your own door, do not think yourself safe behind it, for Adze slips through keyholes and shuttered windows as a single drifting firefly, harmless and almost pretty, before becoming something far less gentle once it is already inside your walls. Children are told to fear the dark for a reason older than any of us can name. There are worse things than teeth in the dark, though, if you can imagine such a thing. In Zanzibar, they speak of Popobawa in whispers even at noon, as though saying the name too loudly might draw its attention. A shape that comes on leathery wings when the household sleeps, leaving behind only terror and the unshakable certainty that something in the house, or in the family, has quietly changed. And across the open grasslands, when clouds gather too fast and the sky cracks open without warning, the old ones do not simply say a storm is coming. They say the Impundulu has spread its wings, a great bird that commands lightning itself, feared as much as it is quietly, carefully respected, for power and hunger have always worn the very same face, and it is never easy to tell which one you are looking at until it is far too late. Push further still, past the forest's ragged edge, into land where nothing grows, and the horizon shimmers like something half-imagined, and you will meet the judges of the empty places. Igamuksa does not look where you expect danger to come from, because its eyes rest not in its skull, but in the soles of its own backward-turned feet, so that to glimpse your reflection in its gaze is already to have lost more than you understood you were risking. And deep in caves veined with gold and gemstone, where the air is cool and the dark presses close, an enormous shape-shifting serpent called Grootslang guards treasures it will never spend and has no use for. It punishes not trespass exactly, but something closer to greed, the wish to carry away more than the land was ever willing to give a single traveler. Even the wilderness itself keeps a guardian at its gate, Gargorib, a great baboon spirit said to punish cruelty toward the animals of the veld, protecting a fragile balance most travelers never think to notice until the moment they've already broken it beyond repair. And when the journey of a whole life finally ends, child, when breath leaves the body and all that remains is what a person carried, quietly, inside their own chest, even then, the judging is not finished. In the old telling from along the Nile, the heart of the dead is set upon a scale, and weighed against a single feather belonging to the goddess of truth herself. If the heart is light, the soul walks on into whatever waits beyond. But if it is heavy, heavy with cruelty, with cowardice, with every small selfishness carried silently through a lifetime, and never once set down, then Ammit is waiting beside the scale. Crocodile-jawed, lion-bodied, patient as the desert that raised her, she does not devour flesh at all. She devours what a life amounted to, and leaves nothing behind to remember. So here is what every river, every tree line, every grain of sand across that whole vast continent seems to agree on, whispered in 100 different tongues by 100 different peoples, who likely never once spoke to one another across all those miles and all those centuries. The world is always watching how you move through it. Take without asking, and something, somewhere, will notice. Walk with humility, and even monsters may let you pass unharmed. Perhaps that is why these stories outlived empires and outlasted the borders drawn over them, not because we needed something new to fear in the dark, but because we needed a reason to walk more carefully through the light we already had. So tell me, child, before the fire dies all the way down to embers of the water, the wood, and the sand, which judge do you think would find you first? Leave your answer below, and if these old warnings are still worth carrying, stay a while longer with me. Subscribe, and I'll bring the next one to you when the fire is lit again.